Welcome to the deep dive. So, today we're looking at something, well, really fundamental, walking, but with a twist.
That's right. We're adding a layer of intention, mindfulness to it.
Exactly, mindful walking. And the sources we looked at frame this as maybe one of the simplest ways to find some calm, some real connection in, our crazy busy lives.
Yeah, it's great material because we're pushing past walking, just being like getting from A to B or even just physical exercise.
But what's our mission here today?
Well, we really want to unpack the specifics, the how-to, if you like. How does this simple practice lead to some pretty profound mental and physical benefits?
Okay.
And we've got this great case study, Maria, which really shows how someone starting out really stressed, maybe even skeptical, can be, well, totally changed by it.
Okay, let's start there then. The term itself, mindful. People hear that and might think it just means thinking deeply, or maybe even daydreaming while you walk. How are we defining it here?
That's a really important point. Mindful in this context means paying full attention, like total attention, but without judging what you notice, just being aware right here, right now.
So not thinking about the grocery list.
Exactly. If your mind's on dinner plans, you're just walking. If your attention is fully on, say, the feeling of your feet hitting the ground, your breath, the sounds around you, that's mindful walking.
And the goal?
The goal is pretty big, actually, achieving a real sense of calm and finding better balance in life.
Okay, so that's the what, but how do you actually do it? If I'm someone who's always rushing, always stressed, and I decide, okay, I'll try this, what are the first, concrete steps?
It really boils down to two key things, which sound simple, but take focus. First, concentrating on your breathing. Second, concentrating on your steps.
Breathing in steps. Got it.
And here's the tricky part for a lot of us modern folks. You have to deliberately choose not to rush. The idea is to walk at a slow, steady pace. The walking itself becomes the focus, not the destination.
I can already feel the resistance. My instinct when I'm stressed is definitely to speed up, try to outrun the anxiety or whatever. Why is slowing down that specific pace so crucial?
Because it forces you back into your body, into the physical experience of the moment. When you consciously slow your steps, your whole system, your physiology, starts to slow down with it. And that's how the practice starts to build towards those key outcomes we mentioned. Manage that synchronicity, the breath, and the steady steps, and you begin to cultivate three things: greater awareness, a deeper sense of connection, and eventually more balance.
Those words, awareness, connection, balance, they can sound a bit abstract. Can we make them more concrete? What's the actual difference between just walking down the street and walking in a way that builds awareness?
Right. So awareness here isn't about knowing facts, it's sensory. It's about actually taking in the information around you. What's the air feel like? What sounds are there near and far? What smells?
And it's also internal awareness, suddenly noticing, wow, my shoulders are really tense, or I'm barely breathing. That kind of raw data, that noticing, leads to connection.
Connection meaning?
Feeling like you're actually relating to your surroundings, building a sort of bond with, say, the park you're in, or even just the street. Seeing nature or your environment not just as a backdrop, but as something you're part of.
And when you get that awareness and connection, that's where the balance comes in.
That's the idea. Balance is about finding that stable point between all the different things pulling at your attention: work, family, worries, plans. You're actively choosing moment by moment to kind of recenter yourself.
Finding balance sounds fantastic. But where do you start if your life feels like total chaos? Like Maria's life, based on the description, that seems like the biggest initial hurdle.
Oh, Maria is such a perfect example of that modern-day disconnect. Living in a big city, constant noise, days packed with screens, meetings always rushing.
She's feeling drained.
Totally. Tired, stressed, feeling cut off from herself, basically just running on empty. And for someone like that, the very idea of slowing down can feel, well, almost threatening, like you'll fall behind.
And that lines up perfectly with her first reaction, right?
Yeah.
When someone suggested mindful walking, her stressed brain immediately labeled it boring.
Boring, yeah, and maybe even a waste of valuable time. That anxiety about wasting time is so typical of that overscheduled mindset.
Definitely.
But what's really interesting is how the practice itself can cut through that resistance, sometimes quite quickly. Her first guided session didn't even start with walking.
Oh, they do?
She was just asked to stand still, close her eyes, and simply listen, but listen specifically, tuning into subtle sounds, birdsong, maybe leaves rustling, the sound of water somewhere distant,
So kind of anchoring her in the here and now through sound first before even moving.
Exactly, grounding her. Then when they did start walking, the instruction was really simple. Try to match your pace to your breath. And totally predictably, her mind just went into overdrive. The internal chatter started right up.
Like what?
Oh, did I remember to send that email? What are we having for dinner? Is this really helping? Shouldn't I be working? Just that constant stream of thoughts, worries, rumination, really.
The mental hamster wheel. So how did she get off it? What was the turning point where the practice actually started to work?
The breakthrough came when she managed to actually do the instruction, when she successfully synced up the rhythm of her walking, nice and steady, with the rhythm of her breathing.
And what happened then?
According to her account, it was like the noisy thoughts just couldn't stick anymore. They started to fade, and the immediate feeling she described was feeling lighter.
Lighter. Let's unpack that. That sounds like more than just a mood change. It sounds physical. Why would matching steps and breath make you feel physically lighter, make stress literally recede?
Well, essentially, she was giving her nervous system a different set of instructions. Stress and that kind of rumination, they often go hand in hand with shallow, fast breathing, which keeps your body in that fight or flight mode, high alert.
Right.
By deliberately slowing the steps and deepening the breath, she was activating the other side, the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. That feeling of lightness is quite literally physical tension releasing. Her brain let go of chasing past worries or future anxieties. It's like interrupting the static.
Okay, that's the deep dive insight. It's a physical intervention, a somatic shift, not just thinking positive thoughts.
Precisely. And once that mental noise quieted down, it was like the volume turned up on everything else. The sensory world came flooding in.
So the awareness kicked in.
Big time. She wasn't just looking at the park, she was really sensing it. Noticing the specific smell of pine trees nearby, the feeling of the ground under her feet. Maybe it was soft, maybe uneven. The warmth of the sun hitting her face.
Details that were always there, but she just hadn't been available to notice them before.
Exactly. Her attention was finally free to perceive them.
And this all happened in about an hour. Leading up to that conversation she had with her friend James, the immediate effects sound pretty dramatic.
They really do. She reported that her stress had just dissipated, replaced by a feeling of calm, of peace. And interestingly, she didn't feel drained or bored afterwards. She actually felt more energetic.
Energetic, really, after walking slowly.
Yeah, and deeply connected to the place she'd been walking in. She apparently told James something like, honestly, it was amazing. I thought it would just be boring, but it turned out to be really powerful.
That phrase, really powerful, I think that captures the surprising nature of it. And the key takeaway for her was that just focusing on those two simple things, breathing and steps, was enough to make the stress melt away.
Yeah, which really confirms its value as immediate stress relief, like right then and there.
Okay.
And James, her friend, apparently pushed back a bit on the fitness side of things. We tend to think effort equals results, right? Harder is better.
Sure, like running versus walking slowly.
Exactly. But Maria's experience points to the dual benefits. She wasn't pushing herself physically in a cardiovascular sense, wasn't getting breathless, but she felt light and full of energy.
So how do we square that? The sources say this improves fitness, but it's clearly not like training for a marathon. What kind of fitness are we talking about?
I think we need to think about fitness more holistically. The material is clear. It's good for both the body and the mind. Physically, yes, the low-impact movement is great for joints, stability, just gentle movement.
Okay.
But the really significant fitness improvement here is arguably mental fitness.
Yeah.
The ability to interrupt that cycle of stressful thoughts, the ability to focus your attention, the ability to choose calm. That's like building a mental muscle.
Mental resilience.
Precisely. And that feeling of physical energy. It might just be a side effect of stopping the constant energy leak that stress causes. You're not burning energy on worry anymore. It's like system maintenance.
And maybe the most practical benefit, long-term, is just how easy it seems to be to make this a regular habit.
That's the key for anyone listening who feels overwhelmed. Maria didn't have to, overhaul her entire life. She started small, just 15 minutes each morning.
15 minutes.
Yeah, in a little park near her place before heading off to work. It's adaptable. You could do it on a city street during your lunch break. It doesn't require special gear or a specific location.
Right.
She started calling it her daily stress relief, her natural medicine.
It becomes less like fitting in exercise and more like mental hygiene, like brushing your teeth, but for your mind. creating that small window of calm that maybe makes the rest of the day feel more manageable.
Absolutely. And James's final thought in the source material really nails it, putting it in that modern context. He concludes that mindful walking is, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, one of the simplest but most powerful habits for modern life.
Simple but powerful.
It costs nothing, needs no fancy equipment, just requires that willingness to slow down, pay attention, and be present. And the point is, if someone like Maria, with her packed city life, could integrate it, well, it suggests anyone can.
This has been really illuminating. It's a good reminder that sometimes the most effective changes are the simplest ones, hiding in plain sight almost. So just to quickly wrap up what we've covered. By consciously linking your breathing with a steady walking pace, you engage this physiological process that brings immediate stress relief.
Right. And builds that mental fitness over time.
It's basically a free, super accessible tool to sharpen your awareness, get more connected, and bring a bit more balance into a potentially hectic life.
And we really hope this isn't just, interesting information for you listening. We want you to actually feel the difference.
Yeah. So here's the challenge, maybe.
Try it. If you're feeling stressed or scattered today, just take 10 minutes, maybe later this afternoon. Go outside or even just walk around inside. Focus purely on your next 10 steps and your next 10 breaths.
Pay attention to the feeling of your feet, the air you're breathing.
Exactly. And just notice, see if you feel, like Maria did, even a subtle shift, that little bit of lightness returning as the mental noise quiets down. It might surprise you.